Nowadays, it's so difficult to get a decent 3-bedroom in the rest of central region, especially when most of the newer 3-bedrooms in city fringe areas are already scaling towards the 1.8 to 2 mil range. Propertylimbrothers today is heading up to Central Grove Condo, and this is a project that is only 190 meters from Aljunied MRT station. And we're going to share with you why we think this is a hidden gem. Alright, so Central Grove, where is this project located? Just 190 meters from the Aljunied MRT station. You can just see it right from your living room here. Aljunied MRT is only about 4 stations from City Hall. The next station is already Geylang, followed by Lavender, Bugis, and then you hit City Hall MRT station. A lot of people might be wondering, hey, the MRT track is just right located here. What is going to be the noise level? So let me share with you, if you are facing towards this direction, you get to see the new project called Sims Urban Oasis right at the corner as well. Right now we're closing up the windows, you don't get to hear a single bit of noise, but of course if you open up, probably that's about it, because what happens when an MRT approaches the station is that it slows down, and if you're facing right towards the station, usually the sound will be to one of the most minimum levels. So D14 is considered the rest of central region, in short RCR, city fringe area. We all know that D14 has been a lagging indicator in terms of the resale property prices, partly because in the past there were not much new launches in terms of large-scale developments that is sprouting out around this area. But of course, in the past 5 years, if I were to bring up the price appreciation that you will see in Central Grove, we're pretty happy with the upscale trend because if you do have a look at this chart, the pricing in terms of PSF and overall quantum has been increasing steadily over the past years, partly because I think there are a lot of couple of new launch developments that has already sprouted out, completed, and there's ongoing projects going on, such as projects like Sims Urban Oasis that's already doing close to about 1,600, 1,700 per square foot. Penrose is also currently the project that's launching right now at about 1,600, 1,700. Later we'll touch a little bit more on the pricing, but maybe back to Central Grove, a little bit about the history of this region. Central Grove is located in Geylang East Avenue 1. This project was completed in 2001. 2 towers, high-rise development, medium-sized density, 262 units right here. There's only 2 and 3 bedders. Predominantly about 80% they are all 3-bedroom units. Now if we were to have a look at the site plan, there are primarily 4 different types of facing. If you face towards north, you get to see the entire Aljunied portion. If you're on a high floor level, the unblocked view is pretty decent. The only setback is, of course, you get to face the MRT track directly, which in exchange, definitely there will be some level of MRT track noise. Of course, the south facing is towards the Sims Avenue Road. You're facing towards the Geylang apartments as well. Apartments along the Geylang Lorong, they are all on level 8 height restrictions. So meaning that if you get anything above 8 or 9 levels, your view is pretty unblocked. The only setback is, of course, for Sims Avenue, the road can be a little bit busy at times, so you do get a little bit of road noise in exchange for that. That leaves you with the east facing, which is towards the East Coast side. You got to see Palembang, you got to see Butterworth, you got to see East Coast. View is also pretty good. The last facing for the 3-bedders is towards the west side. Now there are 2 stacks that are predominantly facing west. However, for this stack that we're in right now, stack 1 is on the tilt angle direction, so you don't get any direct afternoon sun because the left stacks are actually blocking off the afternoon sun for you. So in exchange, you get a nice pool view. You're going to see this opening right towards the Aljunied zoning. So for those who prefer maybe a little bit of a quieter facing at Central Grove, this might be a suitable stack for you if you're looking for a 3-bedroom. Size is 1238 square feet. You get 3 very good sized bedroom, 2 huge baths, a fully renovated unit that was just done about 5 to 6 years back with close to over $1,000 of renovation. Let's have a look at the house first. Marble gives you a very nice, cool feel. The grout lines are also kept to a very minimal level. Now, in exchange for the size that is built in internally, 1238. Of course, during that era, balconies were not very popular, which is why you get to see a lot of full height windows for projects that were done during this season. So on the flip side, compared to newer developments today where you have balconies in your living and perhaps 1 to 2 of your bedrooms, what you get in exchange is that you get to enjoy very good internal size in your bedrooms, living room area. And we don't see much of this kind of walk-in foyer walkway for the older developments, partly because I think the developers really wants to keep all the size packed in for the living room area. So you're gonna see this gigantic dining and living hall, a lot more wall space for you to play around with your storage. So the owners have actually done up this nice 3-panel sliding that allows you to keep a lot of storage. And you can use this partly as a shoe cabinetry as well. Kitchen is enlarged because renovation was just done in the year 2015, 2016. Their main concept is to make sure that every part of this house enjoys very decent size in terms of space. Yard is also reconfigured. So there used to be a WC bathroom right here. They have remodeled that, kept it as a nice laundry room. At the same time, the helper's room is not compromised. You have a ventilation window for your helper if you have a live-in helper. This is a nice yard area that you can close up. And if you are doing heavy cooking, of course, there's a full glass panel that you can pull and close during the days that you are really cooking a lot of stuff. Now, coming in, if you notice the width of this kitchen, this is really wide. There's a nice pantry area at this corner together with the fridge. Nice long tabletop towards the kitchen area right here. Quartz top, cabinetry, very well maintained throughout the years. This rack, hood hob oven, these are all maintained very well. So I would say that this apartment gives you the luxury that if you come in, just put on your new coat of paint, it's pretty much good to go. Now coming to the dining space, this kind of space nowadays I think is really a luxury because after you put in a dining, you still have this amount of space for your kids to run around and just check out the amount of space that you have in the entire living room. Nowadays, it's really hard to find such a wide span living room in terms of just the width plus the length itself. Starting from here, this is the entryway to 3 bedrooms. And before we head in, let me just share with you a little bit about the pricing behavior and what has been happening in the D14 area in terms of its private apartments over the past years. Alright, so District 14 is pretty interesting. Let me bring out the map. So what happened is that for all the properties within the Geylang Lorongs is that they have a height restriction of 8 levels. So the entire Geylang portion is segregated into 4 different zonings, which is predominantly the even lanes plus the odd lanes. Everybody will know that, hey, where is the red light district? You might want to ask this question. Now, the red light district is located at the far right corner that's closer towards the Kallang areas. So what has happened over the past few years is that URA has demarcated in one of its master plan that that entire portion is being converted into a commercial zoning, meaning that in future, if there were to be any en-bloc properties that is happening, the new kind of status will be a commercial kind of property right there. So I think the government has something that is very interesting moving on for the entire D14 and Geylang precinct. We'll just see what happens towards the year 2030, especially when the Paya Lebar Air Base is going to be shifted. And once that is shifted, it has already been announced that the plot ratio for the entire Geylang is going to be revised and the height restriction likely will be removed. So what's interesting is that if you belong to either portions of the lorong, your height restriction is being removed and you can go up to 18 or 19 levels. If we look at what some of the choices that a lot of families look at when they look at the D14 area, if they want their kids to have a bit of close proximity to Kong Hwa Primary School, most of the parents, they will either go for Waterina, which is a freehold development that's at Lorong 40 Geylang. 3-bedders right there is already trading at about $1.8 to $1.9 million. The 2-bedders is already at about $1.5 million. Sims Urban, you want to get a compact 3-bedder, is already at about 1.6, 1.7 mil. You want to get something that is of a larger size at about 1,184 square feet, that is already trading close to about $2 million. For Penrose, the 3-bedders, minimum starting is already at about 1.7 mil, going towards the 1.8 mil. Tray residence, 3-bedders are usually more compact at about 700 plus or 800 plus square feet, also doing at about 1,600, 1,700 per square foot. This is 1,001 plus per square foot. Quantum Play, 1.38, you go over to the per square foot play, there's still a nice differential from 1001 plus all the way to what is right now in terms of benchmark in D14, which is about 1006, 1007. There's a $500 difference. Of course, age bandwidth, there is a difference because this is a slightly older project compared to the newer ones. But I think in terms of quantum play and size, you still hit that triangle that we have been talking about recently, is that you hit a nice size layout, you hit a nice PSF, and then you hit a nice quantum. So all three parts of the triangle fall into place, and I think this is a safety benchmark triangle if you're really looking for quantum play but not stretching your pocket. So meantime, I think it's about time we have a look at the bedrooms. Let's go. Older projects, they seem to have this kind of storage along the walkways, and these are all pretty deep storages right here. You can use this as your secondary storeroom if you have a live-in helper. If you don't, then this will be a very good add-on to your existing space that you don't have to really put in a lot more carpentry work in your living room area. Now, if we head towards this first common bedroom, without the balcony, of course, you get to enjoy this level of space. You still have that 4-panel window that stretches from wall to wall, from top to your knee level. So this is a very good window size for your kids to enjoy in their bedroom. Invisible grills has already been done for all the window panels, including the living room area. Now this room right now, of course, is being used as more like a guest room. If you were to visualize having that wardrobe, that will be towards this corner. Your queen bed will be towards this bed head. So we have some images to show you when you come for viewing. Now if you come over at this portion, because renovation was just done about close to 5 to 6 years back, this is the condition that you get. But you're not getting the kind of original condition from 20 years back. This is something that is going to last you for the next, probably about next 10 years. WC has all been changed, the vanity top has all been redone, and of course the shower screen, glass panel, these are all just about 6 years old. Coming to this room, a little bit of explanation. What the owners has done is that because when they bought this place, they were having young kids at that time, so they have reserved one room for the children. So what they want to do is that for this second common bedroom, they have segregated it into 2 portions, allow them to have more flexibility. So what happened is that a partition wall is being set up right on my left hand side. This half of the room right now is their home office, which is very essential for you if you're working from home right now. And the other half is then being used as a walk-in closet. So if you want to reinstate this back, this will cost you about $3,000. The quotation is with Brian and Christina when you come for viewing. Of course, that will then include shifting the door towards this direction, and the solid concrete wall is still intact. So this was not taken down when they did that segregation of the second bedroom, because in future, if they want to put it back, it can still be done pretty easily. Now, for the bedrooms, if you notice, they have done it with laminated timber, and master room is extremely huge. Even if you were to add in your wardrobe right on this wall line, you still have this ample amount of space. This is a king bed, 2 side tables. Nowadays, this kind of room size is really unseen. Ensuite, long bath, vanity top with a huge sink, nice 2 ventilation windows right here. Floor and wall tiles, these are all just 6 years ago. You don't have to spend a single cent. You really have to come and have a look at this. Maintenance fee is also very reasonable. It's only at $304 per month, which is $912 per quarter. Nowadays, as project age, sometimes the MCSC requires a little bit more in terms of maintenance fee, aging towards the $400 or $500 kind of range. But for Central Grove to keep it at $912 per quarter for a 3-bedder, I think that's really decent. So for facilities, right here you have a clubhouse located on level 2. You also have function room located at level 1 facing towards the pool level. Tennis court for 262 units is pretty unseen as well. Located right towards the corner of this development. You have a multi-story car park that goes up to 5 levels. Visitors have to park at level 4. On level 1, there are still some open parking for owners as well. Security 24 hours. full-scale condo development facilities. Alright, so one last part in terms of comparing the monthly commitment if you were to buy something in the 1.3 odd million range, for example, this apartment, vis-a-vis buying something probably around the D14 area in terms of HDB property as well. And let's say you're buying something that's about 800 over $1,000, what is going to be the installment difference if you're contemplating getting close towards Kong Hwa Primary School and you want to be within the D14 area? Yeah, at the same time, you're not sure whether should I get a 5-room flat, maybe at the Cassia Crescent, Pine Close area or Geylang East area that's about 800 odd $1,000, or should I get a private apartment that's about $1.38 million? We've worked out the two examples for you. Of course, the key difference is that let's say if you are in the age bandwidth of about 35 years old, you can still loan up to about 30 years for the private apartment right here at Central Grove. And of course for HDB, the maximum loan tenure is 25 years. This is going to be the installment difference, and the installment difference is actually not too far apart in terms of having a HDB apartment and a private apartment if you are keeping your quantum below the $1.4 million, and that's just something for you to reference. So I think Central Grove right now is in the season where, because of the fact that the surrounding projects are much newer and higher in terms of per square foot, this in turn gives Central Grove, in terms of pricing and PSF, still room to grow over the next couple of years. So I think to sum up, if you're to land yourself this 3-bedroom for a family to live in right now, there's still pretty much room to go in terms of the next 5 to 8 years, and at the same time enjoying a nice quantum at 1.38 mil. So if you want to have a look at this place, do give a call to our listing manager and listing specialist Christina and Brian. Their link and number is right down below. Once again, my name is Melvin Lim, Propertylimbrothers. As always, happy to show the place. Take care. Okay, the opening scene, later I need you to, when you're outside, right, to walk towards the project. You need to see the building from outside the project. In terms of maintenance fee, aging towards the 4 of 500. Facilities right here, you have a clubhouse. Look, car scene can, it's just that must see the whole building if possible.
If not, can use for the 3D.
3D, huh? Okay, can. Yeah, with some car scenes will be good lah.